Hello Pisces, welcome to my channel. This is going to be your February 2023 reading for Sun, Moon and Rising. We'll start off with the sound bowl just to cleanse the energy and tune in. And please be mindful that energies are non-gender specific, so take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And if this is your story, please give me a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe is totally free and I really do appreciate it. Okay, so if you'd like to take a nice breath in, and exhale. Okay, Pisces, let us see what February has in store for you. So we're going to be doing 3 piles. First pile will be current energy starting the month of February. Middle pile will be anything that's unseen, any obstacles, surprises, challenges, and the last pile will be the outcome. But first we'll get a Sacred Destiny card. This will be the theme for the month, the calling card of what's to come or what to be aware of. Let me do that again. We have freedom. Okay, so spreading your wings, perhaps you're gaining more freedom, perhaps you are cutting certain relationships out of your life at this time, perhaps you are changing jobs, perhaps you're just bringing in a new sort of sense of freedom as it relates to work, so perhaps even kind of stepping out of the office, working more remotely or from home, even if you're a student or retired. Basically the theme that you are really exploring this month is how to feel as free as you can, but available to do what you choose to do, what you prefer to do at any given moment in time. Spreading your wings. Perhaps there is also some air travel involved for you this month. So I'm going to be using my deck now. We've got 3 cards for each section and then we will clarify. We have 6 of Cups, 3 of Wands, the Lovers, obstacles or surprises, Page of Cups, 2 of Swords, Queen of Swords, don't worry, I will show you in a moment, outcome, 3 of Cups, very nice, 10 of Wands, and the 9 of Swords. Okay. So starting off the month, I feel like there's going to be a situation where something's just returning from the past, okay, so blast from the past, or feeling kind of a bit juvenile, feeling quite playful, but in that playful area, it's like you've been waiting for either a decision, a choice to be made, or following passion. So the 6 of Cups also represents sometimes children. It's got a very childlike kind of joyful energy to it, but there's been something you've been waiting for, something you've been working on with that 3 of Wands. You see, he is making fire. He's ready to sort of start building, so to speak. He's like built his hut and now he needs to make the fire, and this is sort of slowly but surely working on your sense of passion. And as we move through that, now there's either choice. I feel like there's 2 big choices. It could be the one and the same thing, that you feel like a choice needs to be made, but then during the month you might be, well, oh, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. Okay, so let us clarify that first of all. So we're going to look at this 6 of Cups energy. This kind of feels like very young, very childlike energy, enjoying just having fun, but it could also be someone returning back into your life that reminds you, it has a sort of sense of nostalgia to it, reminds you of what it is to be kind of childlike and free-spirited. Okay, so let's have a look here. We have 4 of Cups, Temperance, and Knight of Swords. Okay, so I feel like you are taking the cup. We've got the 4 of Cups, Temperance, and Knight of Swords, meaning that you're finding a very I quite like this energy. It feels like you're finding both a nice balance between being quite accepting that cup from the universe, and also this communication, this kind of forceful energy backwards and forwards. It feels like you're finding the right balance between work and emotional upliftment. Now, it could be that someone has returned back into your life, which is and offering you that cup of love, which is extended from the heavens over there. But I feel like it could also be a situation where there's a lot of communication backwards and forwards, and you're just trying to kind of, it feels quite well balanced, but you're trying to really monitor your own heart space with regards to this. Okay, so the Knight of Swords is just it's really kind of like banter. So it could be a friend from your childhood, an ex-work colleague, an ex-partner, a family member from when you were quite young. And it's coming on through, and it's good timing for it to be so because of the Lady Temperance coming in here too. But it feels like it's a nice sort of balance between the emotional body and kind of the intellect. So there's quite witty energy as well. Okay, what are you waiting for with this Three of Wands? What are you working on, this Three of Wands? Oh, we'll take those. There's 3 cards. Oh, there's 4 cards. We have Knight of Cups, 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, and Justice. Ooh. So in a way, you've been sort of working on and waiting for a particular type of union. Okay, this would be a union of someone who's kind of a bit of your opposite, but she. It's basically, again, we've got that cup of love coming in, that Knight of Cup coming towards, offering you solid happiness, okay? A happy home, fortune after difficulty with that 10 of Cups. And then the 2 of Cups shows me that it is a beautiful union, and it's, and we've got the Justice card here as well. So when the scales have been off balance, now it's coming into balance. So it feels to me like this is karmically, it actually feels quite divinely guided. It's something that you've been working on as well. This coming on in is something you've been sort of waiting for, okay? So for some of you, it could be that you are yearning for someone from the past to return back in, and for others of you, they've already returned back in. But I would say it is just, it is reliable, and it's really all about the heart space for you with regards to this. But there may be a situation where someone has to work to get back to you. So perhaps there's a situation where someone has been traveling or working abroad for a while, and then they return back to you, or it's something that you have been trying to create the freedom and the availability to be able to explore this deeper. Now, when we talk about this union, it could be a business partner, it could be a romantic partner, it could be a friend. But what I would say is that it's very uplifting. It's a really kind of fun, excitable kind of energy. But then we move on to the Lover card, the Lover's card, which talks about passion, but also talks about choice. So let's see how that is panning out for you. I'm not taking jumpers. Okay, we have Judgment, the Moon, King of Wands. Okay, so you could be dealing with a fire sign or King of Wands kind of energy. Male or female, it doesn't matter. King of Wands, very charismatic, leader, entrepreneur, someone who gets things going, very charming, okay? And you're trying to make a decision on whether to join forces with this. Now, it could be that you're in that energy yourself, and you're not quite sure whether to follow your sense of passion. But we do have Judgment here, and we do have the Moon. So it feels to me, and there's 2 major arcanas here, so it feels to me like a judgment call needs to be made. It's almost like a waking up process, a waking up to the situation, but it does feel to me that I want to give more information on that Moon card, because it feels like there could be a little bit rose-tinted glasses kind of vibe going on, where you're looking back at the past and reminiscing, and perhaps it's not as clear-cut as you, it just seems a little bit kind of, I don't want to say shady, but not as clear as you thought. So it does, this whole section starting in the month of February, it does really feel like you are in a very much a reminiscent phase where you're wanting to return back to that feeling of freedom, joy, fun, childlike energy. And to be in these energies is really, really positive. But then there's a call for action, and the call for action is to make a decision, a judgment call. And perhaps that is, it feels like some sort of union, feels very relationship based, but it could also have a connection to work in the sense of maybe partnering up with somebody and starting a new business. Although I don't see any aces, what I do see is just like a coming together, and it's been a long wait, a long delay, and now that you're at that point, it's like, well, what do we do now? Okay, do you harness that King of Wands energy? Do you just go with the fire, with the spirit, with the va-va-voom, with all of that, or do you want to sort of pause for reflection? Okay, then we have the sort of like obstacle this month is again this Page of Cups, this offer, this good news of from the heart space, but you are on two minds. You're not quite sure whether to do it, and I see you standing in your power with the Queen of Swords at the end there. So it feels to me like what begins in what happens at the beginning of the month, in that sort of real cup energy, your emotional overflowing kind of energy, I feel like by the end of the month you're actually applying, you're kind of going, okay, I see your emotions, I feel your emotions, I want the sense of freedom, but let's just put this all to paper. Let's actually look at the finer details of this. And even though you're getting it in, I feel like you may have a stumbling block of like, emotionally, it's wonderful, this coming together with someone, even if it's just in a work aspect. But on the other side, you're like, logically, I'm not quite sure it's going to work. Logically, I need to really look at the details. And then by the end of the month, standing in your Queen of Swords energy, you're standing in your power and you're speaking your truth. Okay. So what I really like about this is, although you're sort of feeling all the lovely energy, you're not letting it sweep you away, and you're giving it quite a lot of intellectual thought here, logical thought and analysis. So let's look at this Page of Cups. It almost feels as if you've been yearning for something for so long, and then when it comes in, you're like, oh, hang on, do I really want it? It's that sort of thing. Okay, so Page of Cups, please. Four of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. Okay, so the offer does come on in, which is really, really nice, and it's a small offer. It's not a massive offer. Maybe you were hoping for a happy ever after, but this is a small offer that's coming on in, and I feel like you are now kind of keeping your cards close to your chest, and you're not quite sure, and you're sort of checking in with your own sense of self. It's like, it feels to me like, because you've been embracing these energies of excitement and joy and balance within yourself, because the Two of Cups is also very balanced. Ten of Cups is like, wow. Temperance is very balanced. It feels to me like what precipitates you into turning the emotional body, the water energy, into the air energy, the mental body, is you're kind of going, oh, but hang on a second, let me check in with myself, let me check in with my own heart, because perhaps I've been a bit fanciful with this. Perhaps I've been fantasizing too much. And when this offer comes on in, I kind of feel like you're like, I'm not so sure, and you sort of close off to it a little bit. Potentially as well, particularly if it's kind of like work related, and there might be finances involved. You might be kind of going, love the idea, but I'm not so sure I want to put my money where my mouth is. It's that sort of energy. Okay, so Two of Swords. Let's see what this, it feels like a kind of, it's when you're sort of at the front of that maze and you don't know which way to go. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. But you don't want to stand still. You want to make a decision, but it feels like, if I do this, then this gets affected. If I do that, that gets affected. So let's see what that is all about. What is this decision you need to make? It's like, do you take that offer? Do you join forces? Do you become King of Wands or join with the King of Wands? Do you renew something? Do you resurrect something? Or do you leave it in the past? Okay. So we've got Eight of Wands, Nine of Cups, and the Six of Cups again. Yeah. I mean, these are really, really positive cards, but you're still stuck in that energy. It feels like, for some of you, because I mentioned air travel, we've got the freedom, we've got the birds, we've got the swallows. They sort of do move around season to season. Some of you could be like, you're ready to kind of, okay, so this is not going to resonate for everyone, but to give you the energy of it, it's like if you have an opportunity to fly abroad or fly somewhere, travel somewhere for work, but then you've got love waiting at home for you and you're like, I don't know what to do. Do I go there or do I stay? Do I go or do I stay? Ultimately, no, though, it also could be that you might be thinking, do I travel to somewhere from the past to connect with this offer that's come on in? And you're not quite sure what to do, but what I would say is these are extremely positive cards. So it may require you to sort of just follow your heart with regards to this, okay? It does seem like wish fulfillment, it does seem successful, but it may be, it feels like you're going back to something that you once knew, because you've got Six of Cups twice now, so you really are going back on something that used to be a lot of fun, light-hearted, almost like void of stress and havoc. For some of you, you might be deciding to sort of return home where things feel a little bit freer for you, okay? And it is your wish fulfillment, but you still, it feels to me like I don't know if you're quite trusting this offer. So that is interesting. So let's see, you turn into your Queen of Swords. So you turn into this energy of, let me be truthful within myself. Let me look at the facts and the figures, and let me not beat around the bush. Let me just say it and speak it plainly how it really is. And I feel like that's going to be very helpful for you. Of course, I can't tell you what to decide. Free will is law, but it does feel like you have two really good options and you don't know which one to choose. Right, Queen of Swords, we've got the Hangman, Three of Swords, and the Two of Wands. So I see you kind of deciding, the choice then is deciding to just stay put for a little bit and take the time to see it from multiple angles, because it feels too fast for me. It feels too fast and swift. So with this, you're deciding to look at it at all angles and gain enlightenment. And what you're really gaining enlightenment on is your heart, is previous heartbreak, particularly if you're going back, if you're returning to someone where it was a sad ending. It feels to me like you've got to be truthful to yourself and you want to really kind of connect with this energy. Now the Two of Wands is looking out into the horizon. Now he has experienced everything there is to experience in the world, and he arrives at the top of his castle only to realize, I don't know if I really delved deep into that situation. I bought the t-shirt all along the way, I ticked the boxes, everything, but did I really experience it to the depth that I should have done? Did I really kind of totally surrender to the experience? And these are the things that you're really trying to come to terms with within yourself. And you are evaluating why things hurt you in the past. You are also a bit timid to kind of jump into anything too quickly, because even though it feels all lovey-dovey and like wonderful and uplifting at first, it's like you're having a real a reality check now, because you don't want to sort of enter into something that that is going to have the same results. It's going to be a repetitive cycle. So this is why you're kind of trying to be really honest with yourself, and you're trying to cut away the emotional feelings of it and just look at the facts a bit, okay? And it could be that you're communicating this as well to the other person. By the end of the month, we've got the Three of Cups, Ten of Wands, and Nine of Swords. So by the end of the month, there is some sort of union, some sort of coming together, some sort of celebration, and perhaps it was with this person. And then you can feel like you've reached the end of the road, okay? So you're at the point of reaching a completion of a particular cycle. But then we move on to the Nine of Swords, which does talk about kind of a little bit of anxiety. Did I make the right decision? What's next? So if I show you this, we've got the Three of Cups, Ten of Wands, and Nine of Swords. Okay? So we do definitely have that celebratory spirit over there with the Three of Wands, Three of Cups, particularly if you're returning somewhere and everyone's happy to see you. And then you've got the Ten of Wands, so Three Cups, Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is a brilliant card really because it does mark the ending. See, he's just having a last little breather. He's carried a heavy load for a long time. And he's just having a breather before he does his final stretch, which is over that bridge onto the horizon. And the horizon represents new beginnings. He's not quite there yet, but he's close, okay? And then there's some anxiety. So it feels to me like you have almost, even though you're being very honest with yourself about the past, you're being honest with yourself about the heart space and how you value your heart space, because that Queen of Cups energy that came up was really looking at you really are putting a lot of priority on your heart and protecting your heart. You want to open your heart to the world, to people around you, to relationships, all of that. But at the same time, you recognize it's also important to protect your heart sometimes. So these are the things you kind of really come to terms with. But we do have this energy of something needs to come to an end by the end of the month in order for you to embrace anew. So if it's something that you were deciding to return back to, some sort of energy, or if it's a work placement that you feel like needs to come to an end so you can harness something new, these are the things that kind of may cause a little bit of anxiety or a bit of added responsibility to close certain things off before you can sort of have another go at it. Okay, but having another go at it is really that judgment card. It's really that decision that you make. Now the judgment card basically means that yes, you can resurrect something because it's resurrection, or you can make that final judgment call and move on. Whichever way it goes, life will never be the same again. That's why it's so important. We've got Judgment with Lovers, two big choices. Two of Swords, three big choices. Well, three massive choice cards. So there's a huge choice that you need to make this month. Let us look at the Three of Cups. That was the Nine of Wands that wanted to jump out, but I'm not taking jumpers. Three of Cups. We have Eight of Cups, the Devil, Queen of Swords. Ooh. So by the end of the month, you have some sort of coming together, some sort of party, some sort of celebration, some sort of union or reunion. Okay, could be. I feel like it's to do with the situation that's come on in and offered this like offer of love to you, and I feel like you are deciding no, because you're walking away. Okay, it's not quite the ultimate. It's like it feels to me like you arrive at that point of, if I return to this one situation that seems to have a sense of freedom or seem to kind of really make my heart bounce, I'm going to be restricted in other areas. And because the theme for the month is freedom, I feel like you're kind of going, you know what, I'm not settling. I want to go for the new. I want to go for a new experience rather than repeat an old something, an old cycle. You got the Eight of Cups there, the Devil card, and the Queen of Swords. So you are being very, very honest with yourself. It could be a situation where you've gone to a reunion, some sort of event, some sort of get-together, and it becomes abundantly clear that, I don't know, I think this is just going to be a little bit toxic, a little bit extreme. Perhaps if I get involved with this person or this group of people, I am likely to fall off the wagon. I'm likely to be doing things in excess, in extreme, or there could be a bit of conflict within the situation. It just has a bit of a toxic feeling, and you've had like it's like you get the preview of what could be, and then you're like, oh no, I'm not so sure I want to do this. Ten of Wands. Reaching the end of a road. Let's see what that talks about. Can you clarify the Ten of Wands, please? The Ten of Wands is a completion of a cycle, but not major. It's not a major arcane. It's not the World card, but it is a completion of a cycle. Sometimes it refers to work as well. Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups, and Three of Wands again. So having decided that you are now ready to walk away from something that is a bit too toxic, and you I've arrived at that place because you spent time in the Hangman. You've arrived at that space of, I can be honest about what I want and what I want for the future. You have an absolutely new perspective on your heart space, on new offerings, and you are prepared to wait. You are prepared to wait until divine timing comes on in. So what I love about this is that you've got the ending and the beginning all at once. So now what's happening is you have, in a way, the whole of this month, as you sort of go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards, what you're actually doing is you're kind of cleaning up the dirt. You're paving a clean slate for yourself moving forward. And it feels to me like you are more in the energy or vibration of wanting to attract something new into your life rather than something old. The old has been done, and perhaps you needed this month to sort of really purge it. Perhaps you needed that test from Spirit, those people or that person returning back into your life and kind of going, do you want a piece of the action from before? Do you want to have another go? And you really are tempted by it. You're seduced by it. But I feel like it's a thing that really kind of puts you in that space of, well, let me really look at it. Let me really look at the picture. And by the end of the month, I see you kind of going, nope, I think I want something new. I think there's more on the horizon that I have not experienced yet. I've done you, I want to move forward now. And you are prepared to do whatever it takes until the natural order of things, the natural divine timing comes into play. Even if it's for those of you about work, it feels to me like if, for example, you been working on a project for ages and then you're looking to find more freedom within your working environment, more freedom at home, more freedom in your relationships, all of that sort of stuff. And then just as you're sort of trying to gather it, it's like you get hooked back in, it's seduced back into the situation, and then it's pause for thought, like, do I really stay with this or not? But then by the end of the month, I feel like you're like, nope, there are more opportunities out there that I have not experienced. This is what I want to do. Okay, 9 of Swords. I feel like you might be a little bit anxious about this in terms of, I feel like you make the right decision, but then you have a bit of like self-doubt, of anxiety of like, oh, if I do this, I've created a clean slate for myself, and that means I have to say goodbye to certain familiarities as well, certain things that made me feel connected to the past. And it's a kind of, in a way, a grieving process. So it gives you a bit of anxiety in terms of, okay, well, if I'm on my own now, and I'm moving forward and I'm wanting new experiences, that means everything is changed, and that means everything is uncertain and unknown. Let's have a look. 9 of Swords, please. Death, Page of Wands, and 5 of Swords. So I really feel like this has been a huge transformation for you to sort of shift this energy of releasing the past and moving into the new. And with it will come news of a new position, news of something that is going to get you really excited again. So we're talking about which we make that shift from the emotional body to the intellectual body, and then into the sense of spirit, which is that Page of Wands there. Okay, but the 5 of Swords, it feels to me like you might be a little bit anxious because it's so unclear. The new horizon. Death is a transformation card. Okay, so you know that something's coming to an end. It's a transformation, so you can bring in new beginnings, and it feels like you've got things in the pipeline, but I feel like you're a bit worried that you are going to be shooting your foot, cutting off your nose to splat your face with. I feel like you're anxious that this is maybe the wrong decision. I feel like it's a very promising decision. I feel like it's very, very powerful, and even if you might be worried whether something has the longevity that you hope it will be in a new beginning, we've got the Death card here, so it is a beautiful transformation. So you might just be caught up in your head a bit. It is a 9 of Swords, so 9s do talk about ending. So even if there's a bit of anxiety, I don't see it lasting very, very long, but I do feel like it's just your second guessing yourself, just a little self-doubt. I feel like you're extremely empowered throughout the month. You make the right decisions, perfect for you, but then by the end of the month you're like, oh, it's uncertain territory. So put you outside your comfort zone, and that's the only place to be if we want to learn about ourselves. So, interesting months, Pisces. We're going to get an oracle card before we move on to the extended. What does Pisces need to know about this month for their highest good? What do they need to know for their highest good, please? You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. Now, when we talk about the true north, we're also talking about your north node, which you can look up in astrology and figure out what star sign and what trait that is. Your south node is who you are and who your comfort zone is. Your north node is really where you need to be exploring those sorts of energies. And you are definitely facing your true north, but there is the potential. You see, this is overthinking it because this is being worried. It feels like you're caged in with your mind, with your mental body, and it's like shark infested waters. Oh my god, are the sharks going to get me? Well, the sharks could literally just be playing with your rescue mission. Okay, so it really depends on how you perceive it, how you look at it. So Spirit here is saying stop overthinking it. Okay, you are doing the right thing, you are on the right path, you know what it is you want. And these sort of new beginnings that you are bringing into your life by cutting out the things that are left in the past now, that are done and over with, you are on the right trajectory. Okay, you are facing your North Star. Okay, so that's all I have for you, Pisces. I'm going to be moving on to the extended now. I'm going to be looking at this thing that you're cutting out. I'm going to look at it a bit deeper. What needs to be really cut out of your life in order to make a smoother transition into inviting the new thing that's coming in. And we're also going to be doing just a message from Spirit, okay, what you need to know right now. So if you're interested in that, you can go to the description box below, click on the link. The PayPal link is beneath that. It's £4 or $5 to purchase that. So for those of you who are interested in that, I'll see you there. For the rest, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Have a wonderful month. Good luck with this. You are on the right steps, so all good eventually. Okay, take care. Bye bye.